Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padagalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganutam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidam Cha Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyana Jana Shalakya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Urave Namah Gaurva Bhistam Supurkam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Vedanipunam Shri Rupa Pathanagam Govindamidam Ujjalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Novi Bijapralam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Baranam Balarka Chilanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambudim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashi Shraddha Sridharam Mansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gorata Vishenama. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Adi-lila, chapter 17. Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in his youth. And this is verse number 60. Are vipraila kirtan dekite dware kapata napaila bitare jaite. Another Brahmin came to see the kirtan performance, but the door was locked and he could not enter the hall. So that's when Mahaprabhu was having his kirtans in the house of Srivas Thakur. That's also called Srivas Angam. Okay. The altar all decorated by one of our new Brahmins. Ada egg vipraila kirtan gyakite dware kapata na paila bitare jaite. Another Brahmin came to see the kirtan performance, but the door was closed and he could not enter the hall. Virgela vipragare mane dukapaya aradina prabhu ke kohe gangaya lagapaya. He returned home with an unhappy mind, but on the next day he met Lord Chaitanya in the bank of the Ganges and spoke to him. Sapiba tomare mui payache manoduk paite chindiya sape prachanda durmuk. That Brahmin was expert in talking harshly and cursing others. Thus he broke his sacred thread and declared, I shall now curse you, for your behavior has greatly aggrieved me. Samsara suk tomara hauk vinash shapa shune prabhur chite hoila ulas. The Brahmin cursed the Lord, you shall be bereft of all material happiness. When the Lord heard this, he felt great jubilation within himself. Prabhura sapvarta jeshune shradhavan brahma shap hoite tara hoy paritran. Any faithful person who hears of the Brahmin's cursing Lord Chaitanya is delivered from all Brahminical curses. Mukunda dater Datere hoila danda prashad kandila tahara chiter saba abasad. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Mukunda Datta with punishment and in that way vanquished all his material depression. Acharya Gosayare Prabhu Kore. Okay. Mukunda Datta was once forbidden to enter the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of his mixing with a Mayavadi impersonalist. Also, one time Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he ousted Krishnadas Babaji because Krishnadas Babaji liked to sing and he associated with persons who were like Sahajis chanting. So Guru Maharaj felt very bad now and asked Krishnadas Babaji to leave. But on another occasion, Krishnadas Babaji was there, and Guru Maharaj, who had felt bad at ousting him, said, "I thought I told you you had to leave." And he said, "Yes, but you didn't tell me I couldn't come back." So that Guru Maharaj was happy with it. Lord Chaitanya manifested his Mahaprakash. He called all the devotees one after another. When Lord Chaitanya manifested his Mahaprakash, he called all the devotees one after another and blessed them while Mukunda Datta stood outside the door. The devotees informed the Lord that Mukunda Datta was waiting outside, but the Lord replied, "I shall not soon be pleased with Mukunda Datta, for though he explains devotional service among devotees, he then goes to Mayavadis to hear from them the Yoga Vashishta Ramayan, which is full of Mayavad philosophy. For this, I'm greatly displeased with him." Hearing the Lord speak in that way, Mukunda Datta, standing outside, was exceedingly glad that the Lord would at some time be pleased with him, because he said, "I will not be soon pleased with him." Although he was not pleased at that moment, but when the Lord understood that Mukunda Datta was going to give up the association of Mayavadis for good, he was pleased, and he at once called to see Mukunda. Thus he delivered him from the association of Mayavadis and gave him an association of pure devotees. But also Mahaprabhu was pleased that Mukunda, when he had to heard that he'd have to wait for a long time to see Mahaprabhu, he was dancing because waiting a long time is not so terrible as being not allowed to see him at all. Acharya Gosai, and he thought even millions of lifetimes is not long to have to wait to get the association of Mahaprabhu. Acharya Gosai Prabhu Kore Guru Bhakti Tahate Acharya Bora Hoy Dugamati. Lord Chaitanya respected Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master, but Advaita Acharya Prabhu was greatly aggrieved by such behavior. Bangi Kore Gyanamarg Korela Bhyakyan Krodaveshe Prabhu Tare Koila Avagyan. Thus he whimsically began to explain the path of Gyanamarg, or philosophical speculation, and the Lord in his anger seemingly disrespected him. Tabi Acharya Gosara Ananda Hoila Lajita Hoya Prabhu Prashada Korila. At that time Advaita Acharya was greatly pleased. The Lord understood this and he was somewhat ashamed, but he offered Advaita Acharya his benediction. Murari Gupta Mukhe Shune Rama Gunagram Lalate Likilatara Ramadasanam. Murari Gupta was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. When Lord Chaitanya heard Lord Ramachandra's glories from his mouth, he immediately wrote on his forehead, Ramadas, the eternal servant of Lord Ramachandra. Sridhare Lohapatre Koila Jalapan Samasta Bhaktere Dila Ishta Bharadan. Once Lord Chaitanya went to the house of Sridhar after kirtan and drank water from his damaged iron pot. Then he bestowed his benediction upon all the devotees according to their desires. I believe this is referring to Kolavecha Sridhar, who had an iron pot. Now, iron pot was an iron glass that was considered not clean. But Mahaprabhu drank water from that glass, that iron pot. Mahaprabhu didn't care about mundane considerations of piety or what was what was clean, not clean. He considered Sripad as a water recipient, water receptacle of a devotee. He drank from it. Haridas Thakur Korila Prasad Acharyastane Matara Kandaila Parad. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaitacharya. Because Sachimata, she blamed Advaitacharya for her son taking sannyas and leaving. That's so what's the son's name? The son's name was Vishwarup. Vishwarup took sannyas when he heard that they wanted him to get married. He immediately took sannyas and left home. And Sachimata thought that Advaitacharya had influenced her son, so she was angry, and then Mahaprabhu said that she had committed an offense to Advaitacharya. But she took the dust of Advaitacharya's lotus feet. After this incident, the Lord blessed Haridas Thakur and vanquished the offense of his mother at the home of Advaitacharya. Bhaktigane Prabhu Nama Mahima Kohila Shunya Padu Yatahan Arta Bharakoila. So someone said, what's the offense of Mother Sachi? There would answer, there isn't any. There wasn't any. But Mahaprabhu induced her to not blame, to understand who was Advaitacharya. She already knew, but still the Lord indicated that don't think that Advaitacharya convinced Vishwarup to leave home. Vishwarup is an incarnation of Balaram. He'll leave home on his own. Bhaktagane Prabhu Nama Mahima Kohila Shunya Paduya Tahan Arta Bharakoila. Once when the Lord explained the glories of the holy name to the devotees, some ordinary students who heard him fashioned their own interpretation. Nami stute badashune prabhar hoiladuk sabareni shedila ihar na deki almuk. When a student interpreted the glories of the holy name as a prayer of exaggeration, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, greatly unhappy, immediately warned everyone not to see the student's face henceforward. Sagane sache legiya koila gangasnan bhaktira mahima tahan korila vyakyan. Without even removing his garments, Lord Chaitanya took a bath in the Ganges with his companions. There he explained the glories of devotional service. So you are on the altar now? Oh, very good.
Been following around Parameshwar and Kalindi this morning.
Okay. Our new Brahmin.
By your mercy, Dave.
So when one of Mahaprabhu's students, he had students, he was teaching Sanskrit grammar, and one of his students said that the chanting of the holy name was a prayer of exaggeration. Then Mahaprabhu, when he heard that, he ran with students and jumped in without taking off his clothing or changing or anything. He ran with all his clothes and jumped in the Ganga, as did his students. Without removing his garments, Lord Chaitanya took a bath in the Ganges with his companions. There he explained the glories of devotional service. They took a bath because he was demonstrating just by hearing this person speak about the holy name and saying it's exaggeration. You need to take a bath now. So he Jnana Karma Yoga Dharme Nahe Krishna Bas Hetu Ek Prema Bhakti Ras. By following the paths of speculative philosophical knowledge, fruitive activity, or mystic yoga to control the senses, one cannot satisfy Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Unalloyed devotional love for Krishna is the only cause for the Lord's satisfaction. Na sadayati mam yoga, na sankyam dharma udava, na svadhyaya tapastyago, yata bhaktir mamorjita. The Supreme Lord Krishna said, "My dear Uddhava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system to control the senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyas, can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me." So, not through yoga, not through Sankhya, not through tapasya, tyago, like sannyas. So I guess sannyasis are tyagis. Although some tyagis renounce sannyas. Murar, those are confused tyagis. Murarike kohetumi Krishna basa koela shunya murari shloka kohite lagila. Lord Chaitanya then praised Murari Gupta, saying, "You have satisfied Lord Krishna." Hearing this, Murari Gupta quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Kvaham daridra papiyan kva Krishna Sriniketana Brahmabandhur itismaham babhubhyam parirambitaha. Since I am but a... This is said by Sudama Vipra. Since I am but a poor, sinful Brahma Bandhu, not Brahmanically qualified, although born in a Brahmin family, and you, Lord Krishna, are the shelter of the goddess of fortune, it is simply wonderful, my dear Krishna, that you have embraced me with your arms. So, Sudama Vipra, he was a childhood friend of Krishna in the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, and he had been friends with Krishna, but he was very poor. But his wife pushed him. "You go see your friend Krishna. He's now he's almost like the king, and he can help you." So he finally went to see Krishna. He would have liked to see Krishna anyway. But he didn't have anything, so he took with him some dry chir or dry poha. He took that, but he didn't show it to Krishna. But when Krishna spotted it, when he is embracing Krishna, and Krishna says, "What's this?" And he took that, and then he ate some, and then he went to eat it again. But Rukmini stopped him. "This is not fit for you." But Sudama Vipra didn't ask Krishna for anything. But when he went home, he saw that his wife was dressed opulently in their shack, or their hut had become like a very palatial residence, without him asking anything to Krishna. And he said this verse. He said, "Since I am but a poor, sinful Brahmin Bandhu," means I'm not really a qualified Brahmin, but not Brahmanically qualified, although born in a Brahmin family, and you, Lord Krishna, are the shelter of the goddess of fortune, It's simply wonderful, my dear Lord Krishna, that you embrace me with your arms. Ek din Prabhu sab bhaktagan loya sankirtana kori baishe shwama jukta hoya. One day the Lord performed sankirtan with his devotees, and when they were greatly fatigued, they sat down. Ek amra bij Prabhu angane ropila tatkane janmila brika badite lagila. The Lord then sowed a mango seed in the yard, and immediately the seed fructified into a tree and began to grow. Dekite dekite brika hoila falita pakila aneka fala sabe vishmita. As people looked on, the tree became fully grown with fruits that fully ripened. Thus everyone was struck with wonder. Shata dui fala prabhu shigra padaila prakalana kori krishne boga lagaila. The Lord immediately picked about 200 fruits, and after washing them, he offered them to Krishna to eat. Rakta pita varna nahi ashta vokala Egjaner petabareg kaile ekafala. The fruits were all red and yellow with no seed inside and no skin outside, and eating the fruit would immediately fill a man's belly. Dekya santushta hoila sachiranandan. There's no skin, there was no seed, just nice mango. And just eating one would be very satisfied. Now, there are mangoes throughout the Western countries, but the mangoes originated in India, and they were taken to the West by the Portuguese. And then Dekiya Santushta Hoila Sachiranandan Sabake Kauljala Age Korea Bakan. And now, in Mumbai, there's, I guess from the Portuguese influence, there's a famous mango called the Alfonso, which are very good. Those mangoes.
They're one of the sweetest.
Yeah.
Very sweet. There was an Alfonso tree in my front yard.
And where?
When I was growing up,
Oh.
we had an Alfonso mango tree.
In Bengal, there'd be about 8 different varieties of mangoes, and you'd get them one after another. First it was 2-3 weeks of one mango, then the next. And, so many. Chosa, it was the one very flat with very flat seed, and Chosa.
Seva, Langra.
Lunga, that was that one. Then there's also Puzzly, and there's also Chosa, Himsa Sagar. Some very nice mangoes.
Yeah.
Oh. They had those in North India too. Dicky, yes, many of them came from North India. They were brought to, and some was growing in. Dekhiya Santushta Hoila Sachira Nandan Sabake Kaujala Age Koreabakan. Seeing the quality of the mangoes, the Lord was greatly satisfied, and thus after eating first, he fed all the other devotees. Ashti Vagala Nahi Amrita Rasamoy Ekpala Kaile Rase Urara Parai. The fruits had no seeds or skins. They were full of nectarian juice and were so sweet that a man would be fully satisfied by eating only one. Emata pratidin fale barmas Vaishnava kal jaina fal prabhara ulas. In this way, fruits grew on the tree every day throughout the 12 months of the year, and the Vaishnavas used to eat them to the Lord's great satisfaction. Adi-lila kore Sachiranandan, Anyalok Nahi Jane Bina Bhaktagan. These are confidential pastimes of the son of Sachi. Other than devotees, no one knows of this incident. Imata Bharmash Kirtana Avasane Amra Mahotsava Prabhu Koredine Dine. In this way, the Lord performed Sankirtan every day, and at the end of Sankirtan, there was a mango eating festival every day for 12 months. Kirtan Korite Prabhu Aila Megayan Apana Ichaya Koila Mega Nivaran. Once when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing Kirtan, clouds assembled in the sky, and the Lord, by his own will, immediately stopped them from pouring rain. What's the name of the mangoes in Vrindaban? Not in Vrindaban, in Veracruz, very sweet.
Manila?
Yeah, they have mango Manila. They're very nice mangoes. That's on the eastern side of Mexico, and on the western side they have atulfo. Those are very good also. They have other kinds, but those two kinds of mangoes are very good. They're like Indian mangoes. They're not really nice. Ekdin Prabhu Shriva Sere Adi-lila Brihat Sahasranam Para Shunite Manahoila. One day the Lord ordered Srivas Thakur to read the Brihat Sahasranam, the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, for he wanted to hear them at that time. Can you bring a glass of water?
Yes.
Okay. Patite Aila Stave Nashringaranam Shunya Vishta Hoila Prabhu Goradam. As he read the 1,000 names of the Lord, in due course the holy name of Lord Nrsimha appeared. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the holy name of Lord Nrsimha, he became fully absorbed in thought. Nrsimha Veshe Prabhu Hate Garaloya Pashande Marite Jai Nagare Daya. Thank you. There's some opulence here also, because when we first got this land, then we used to get water from a spring across the road. And that was very nice water, but there are so many devotees, and that was not going to be enough. So then brought some company to dig a well, and when they were digging a well, here, property of Govindamars was here, I believe, we hit an underground stream. And then they went further deeper too, but we have very good water here all year round from that well, and it's pumped up. Even when the electricity goes out, water still comes out the pipes from the force of the spring. And very good water here. Once they tested the water, that French company, Perrier, they tested the water and they said the water was excellent, but they don't use well water. Otherwise they would have bought it. Ekdin Prabhu Shriva Sere Adi-lila Brihat Sahasranam. Okay, so when he heard the name of Lord Nrsimha, Mahaprabhu became fully absorbed in thought. Nrsimha Veshe Prabhu Hate Garaloya Pashande Marite Jai Nagare Daya. In the mood of Lord Nrsimha, Lord Chaitanya ran through the city streets, club in hand, ready to kill all the atheists. Nrsimha Veshe Deki Mahatejamoy Patachari Bhagelok Paya Borabai Seeing him appearing very fierce in the ecstasy of Lord Nrsinga, people ran from the street and fled here and there, afraid of his anger. Log baya deki prabhur baya hoila, Srivas grihete giya gara velaila. Seeing the people so afraid, the Lord came to his external senses and thus returned to the house of Srivas Thakur and threw away the club. Srivase Kohen Prabhu Korya Vishad Lokabaya Bhai Mora Hoy Aparad. The Lord became morose and said to Srivas Thakur, when I adopted the mood of Lord Nrsingadev, people were greatly afraid. Therefore I stopped, since causing fear among people is an offense. That's true. Sometimes I have to remember that too. Not become angry with people, because if you cause fear to people, then it's an offense. Srivas Bolana Jay Tomara Namaloy Tarakoti Aparada Sabahoy Koi. Srivas Thakur replied, anyone who takes your holy name vanquishes 10 millions of his offenses immediately. Now, that's a quality, I think, of Lord Shiva, Asutosh. He's very angry, easily angered, but very easily calmed down and very happy at the same time. Easily angered, but easily appeased. Then we're singing the song about Nityananda Prabhu, and it says, what is that song? It goes, Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Rai. It says, Nityananda goes everywhere free from all sense of anger. But Nityananda can become very angry easily. He kicked Srivas Thakur just for making him wait to receive his meal. But not Srivas Thakur. He kicked actually Shivananda Sen. And he kicked him because Shivananda Sen was paying a toll. And then Nityananda went ahead with the devotees to the town, and he was waiting to receive his residence, eat, and he was hungry. So when Shivananda Sen came, Nityananda walked over to him and kicked him. So then but we say, Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Roy. So that he's free from all sense of anger. But I say that free from all sense of anger, maybe sometimes showing anger, but not really angry, not angry in the sense like Asutosh, easily angered, but at the same time instantly happy, satisfied. Srivas Bolan Jay Tomara Namaloy Tarakoti Aparad Sabhoy Koi. Srivas Thakur replied, anyone who takes your holy name vanquishes 10 millions of his offenses immediately. And that's, Haridas Thakur was his whole life chanting 3 lakhs names every day of Krishna. But when he left this world, he was happy chanting the name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sometimes when I go to India, I always, if I'm near, I go to visit Vrindaban, but at the same time, when I visit Vrindaban, I feel sometime like, I don't know, I'm treading very sacred dust, and and I'm not at all qualified to be here. But when I go to Bengal, then it's the land of Mahaprabhu, and I feel that Mahaprabhu is very merciful, and he doesn't take so easily the offenses of us Yavanas and Malechas. So then in Bengal, that's the place of Mahaprabhu. Although sometimes I remember one one devotee from Delhi, he complained about the Bengalis, he said. He said, well, you go to Bengal and the Bengalis and their babies are defecating at the side of the road and everything, and it's, you know, and it is true, Bengal's more rustic than northern India. So you're here now. Yes. I haven't seen you in almost a month. I was talking with Devaki. Who now works in a croissant factory. Is that Gauranga? Uh-huh. Shrivas bolan jay tomara namaloy, tarakoti aparad sab hoy koi. Okay. Aparad sahi koile lokaranishtar jay toma lekila tara chutila samsar. There was no offense in your appearing as Nrsingadev. Rather, any man who saw you in that mood was immediately liberated from the bondage of material existence. Etaboli Shrivas Korila Sevan Tushtahoya Prabhuaila Apana Bhavan. After saying that, Srivas Thakur worshipped the Lord, who was then greatly satisfied and returned to his own home. So today we're going to be celebrating, it's Sunday, tomorrow's Acharya Maharaj's appearance, but we're celebrating Acharya Maharaj's appearance today. And why are we celebrating Acharya Maharaj's appearance today? For our own purification. So more people will come, so more people, you know. When you have something very nice to eat, you want to share it with everybody. So today's celebration we can share with more people. They'll come on Sunday. Otherwise, people are working tomorrow. But Acharya Maharaj, I was amazed by Acharya Maharaj, how he could immediately, if he sat down, he could immediately begin preaching very nicely without any delay or anything. He didn't even have to think of what he's saying or anything. He's a very good preacher, I thought. I liked his preaching. You know. Especially he would preach to the devotees. He would tell them how to engage in devotional service directly. So, I consider that's a very good quality, to be able to spontaneously speak very personally to the devotees. I noticed he could do that. So today we'll glorify Acharya Maharaj. That'll be our Sunday program. And Jairam, you can speak also. We'll all speak something in glorification of Acharya Maharaj. And you can also do so because your father-in-law took initiation from him. What's your father-in-law's name is? Gaur Govinda. Govinda Ballab. I was wrong, not Gaur Govinda. Govinda Ballab. He was so nice. He used to always send cloth for the deities and other things. Crowns, cloth. Nice. So now, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama
Hari Hari Nama Krishna Yaravaya Namaha.
Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Govindaram Shrimavisudan.
Giridhari Gopinath Maranamaha
Giridhari Gopinath Maranamaha.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Jaradhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Makhavina Ayupa Samatam Bhaktivaguna Jiva Gopala Bhata Vasaravina Hey Jai Gosai Kori Jaya Jai Devinana Sarishta Puran Hey Jai Gosai Jamui Charadan Kasavar Padarinu Mora Panchagan Padajamana Sevi Bhakta Sanivan Janame Janame More Abhilan Hey Jai Gosai Jabe Bhaje Kiravan Hare Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindaban Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Bhaja Iyaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriya Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Saratamura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Joki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tata Sata Shishimad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Acharya Maharaj Avirbhav Mahotsav Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Srila Vishwavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad ki jai. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. All the eastern and western devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.